At a subway platform, a man was preparing to go to heaven. He blankly glanced back at a sweet young couple, passionately kissing. The next moment, he leapt forward and left this world. When he woke up again, he found himself sitting on a shabby bus. After getting off, he saw nothing but a gas station with a welcome banner hanging outside. A bald man walked out and enthusiastically welcomed Andreas to hell. Before Andreas could react, he was invited back onto the bus. They drove through barren wilderness and arrived in a beautiful and peaceful city. Some people were even leisurely playing badminton by the roadside. The car drove for a long time and only stopped in front of a villa after nightfall. The bald man told Andreas, "You live in room F on the second floor," then handed him an address and told him to report to work the next day. The company offered excellent pay and benefits. Faced with a free villa and an assigned job, Andreas felt confused. The next day, Andreas went to the company. The environment was comfortable and the boss had a kind expression. Before he even started working, the boss paid him his salary for the month in advance. Having met such a good boss, Andreas wanted to do more to repay him, but the workload was minimal and he finished it quickly. He could only idle around to make it to lunch break. Walking down the street, Andreas felt something was strange. In the distance, a man was impaled on an iron fence, bleeding profusely, yet passers-by seemed accustomed to it. Only a janitor calmly cleaned the scene with a blank expression. Even stranger, that night at the bar, no matter how much alcohol Andreas drank, he felt no intoxication, as if he had spent the whole night drinking plain water. In the restroom, another man complained about the same problem. He used to love chocolate, but here it had become bland and tasteless. After hearing this, Andreas grew even more curious about this world. To find out why, he secretly followed a man out of the bar. It was not very late, yet all the lights were already off, and the streets were completely empty. Andreas entered a basement where faint music that only existed in the human world could be heard. But just as he approached, the lights went out. Back home, he had a late-night snack and found that the food truly had no taste. It was as if he had lost his sense of taste. Andreas began to wonder whether this was the human world or hell. To verify it, he decided to conduct an experiment. To verify whether he was in the human world or in hell, he deliberately put his finger into a paper shredder. Blood gushed out instantly. However, a few hours later, when he removed the bandage, his finger had grown back. Andreas stayed awake the entire night. The next day, instead of going to work, he drove to the gas station from before to investigate. When he saw the bus, he immediately followed it, but soon lost track of it, and even the tire marks on the road vanished into thin air. Perplexed, Andreas forced himself to remain calm and return to the company. Although he was very late, the boss did not mind at all, and even invited him to dinner. Andreas began to resign himself to his fate, thinking that perhaps finding a partner would make life different. That night, he gathered the courage to approach the mature and beautiful Ingeborg. The people here were indeed unusual, very straightforward. That very night, the two of them let go of themselves and explored the mysteries of the human body together. Ingeborg's appearance gave Andreas the desire to stay and live properly. He began decorating his dull desk and bought himself an impressive sports car. After only a few days of dating, he and Ingeborg went straight to the point and got married. But what comes quickly also goes quickly.